Liam had heard rumors about the abandoned Blackridge Hospital his whole life. Whispers of patients who went in but never came out, and a secret room the doctors never spoke of. They called it the Blood Room, a place where experimental surgeries were performed on living, screaming patients. Everyone in town believed the hospital was demolished decades ago, but Liam knew that was a lie. The building still stood deep in the woods, sealed off with iron chains. On a cold, moonless night, he decided to break in. The moment Liam stepped inside the abandoned hospital, the air changed. It was thicker, heavier, as if the walls themselves were still breathing. His flashlight beam cut through layers of dust floating like ash. The entrance hall was filled with rusted wheelchairs, overturned beds, and medical charts scattered across the floor. But something was wrong. Some papers looked fresh, untouched by time. A faint metallic dripping echoed from somewhere deeper inside. At first, Liam thought it was water leaking from an old pipe, until he noticed the floor. A thin trail of dark red liquid stretched down the corridor, sticky and glistening under the light. His heart pounded, but curiosity pulled him forward. On the peeling wall beside him, a message was scratched into the paint. "The room is still open." The letters were jagged, carved with something sharp. As Liam followed the bloody trail, he felt eyes watching him from the shadows. He turned his flashlight quickly, nothing. But the feeling didn't fade. He whispered to himself, "This place should be dead. So why does it feel alive?" As Liam ventured deeper into the hospital, the corridors narrowed, and the temperature dropped sharply. His own breath began to fog in the beam of the flashlight. He passed old surgical rooms with cracked windows and shattered lights. Inside one, metal tables were still strapped with leather restraints, as if patients had been dragged away recently. A sudden clang echoed behind him. He froze. Slowly turning around, Liam saw a surgical tray that had fallen to the ground, though he hadn't touched anything. Tools spilled across the floor. Scalpels, bone saws, rusted clamps. But one scalpel stood out. It wasn't rusted. It was clean, and it was warm. Liam's shaking hand dropped it instantly. Footsteps echoed from the hallway behind him. Slow, dragging, uneven. He pressed himself against the wall, turning off his flashlight. The footsteps grew louder, stopping right outside the room. In the darkness, a faint breath whispered through the broken doorframe. Then nothing. When Liam turned the flashlight back on, he noticed something written on the glass pane. A handprint, fresh, bloody, and underneath it, "He never left." Liam forced himself to move forward, though every instinct screamed for him to run. The bloody handprint kept replaying in his mind, each step echoing louder in the silence. He reached the central elevator shaft. Its metal doors twisted open as if something tore them apart. Inside, the elevator car was stuck halfway between floors, lights flickering dimly. He stepped closer and noticed deep claw marks scraped along the inside walls of the shaft. Not human nails. These were long, sharp, precise. Something had tried to climb out. A cold gust of wind shot upward from the darkness below, carrying a low moan. Liam pointed his flashlight down the shaft. The beam disappeared into an endless black void, but just before the light faded completely, too faint, glowing eyes stared back at him from the darkness. He stumbled backward, falling to the floor. The eyes blinked, once, slowly. Suddenly, a deafening metallic slam echoed above him. Liam looked up to see the elevator car shaking violently, as if something inside was trying to break free. The hospital trembled, and a single word echoed from below. "Down." Terrified but unwilling to turn back, Liam continued down the hallway until he reached a rusted metal door with a faded label. Surgical Wing B restricted. The lock was broken as if forced open recently. He pushed the door slowly, and it creaked like a dying scream. Inside, the smell hit him first, thick, metallic, unmistakably blood. Old surgical lamps flickered weakly, illuminating rows of operating tables covered in dried stains. But what made Liam's stomach twist were the jars. Hundreds of them, lined neatly on shelves. Each jar contained pieces of human skin preserved in dark fluid, some shaped like faces, others like hands, and some carved with symbols he couldn't understand. A journal lay open on a metal cart, its pages smeared with red fingerprints. One entry caught his eye. The experiments continue. The skin remembers. The room must be fed. Suddenly, a distant scream echoed from somewhere deeper inside the wing. A scream that was alive. Liam swallowed hard. The blood room wasn't abandoned. Someone was still inside. Liam stepped deeper into the surgical wing, where rusted instruments still hung from cracked tiles like metallic fossils. A cold draft brushed his neck, yet the air felt unnaturally still. Too still for any breeze to exist. On the far wall, he noticed a set of old patient files scattered as if someone had rifled through them recently. Curiosity pushed him forward. He kneeled, lifting a file marked Experiment 14, Subject Liam Carter. His breath froze in his chest. How could his name be inside a building he had never visited before? Before he could process it, the lights flickered violently, plunging the hallway into pulses of darkness. In each flash, he saw a different silhouette at the end of the corridor. Tall, crooked, and jerking closer with every blink. Panic surged, but his legs wouldn't move, as if the building itself wanted him to stay. The silhouette stopped only a few meters away, its head twitching in rapid, unnatural motions. Liam shut his eyes, praying it would vanish. But instead, he heard a whisper, deep, broken, and right beside his ear. "Welcome back, Subject 14. Liam stumbled backward, clutching the file to his chest as the whisper echoed through the hallway. When he opened his eyes, the silhouette was gone. But the air was no longer silent. A slow dragging sound scraped along the floor, coming from a nearby operating room. Against every instinct urging him to flee, Liam approached the doorway. The room was illuminated by a single flickering surgical lamp, revealing an operating table strapped with torn leather restraints. Dried blood stained the metal surface in dark maroon streaks. Then he saw it. Fresh footprints leading from the table to the far corner, as if someone had just risen moments earlier. His pulse hammered in his ears. Suddenly, a figure lurched into view, crawling on all fours, its limbs bending backward in grotesque angles. His skin was pale and stretched, like wax melting off bone. Liam froze as it began to sniff the air, tracking his scent. A guttural growl rumbled from its chest, followed by a shrill screech that shattered the bulb above. Liam bolted from the room, knowing that whatever experiment had been done here was still alive, and now it was hunting him. His footsteps thundered down the corridor as Liam sprinted toward the main lobby, desperate for any sign of an exit. But every turn led him somewhere unfamiliar, as if the layout had changed since he entered. Doors that were once open were now sealed shut by chains he didn't remember seeing. The building was twisting around him, rearranging itself like a living organism. Then he heard it again. The creature's crawl, rapid and frantic, closing in behind him. Liam darted into a storage closet, forcing himself into the shadows. He clamped a hand over his mouth to silence his breathing. Through the slits in the wooden door, he saw the creature scuttle past, its elongated fingers scraping the walls, leaving long gouges in the peeling paint. For a moment, Liam thought he was safe, but the creature stopped abruptly and turned its head backward, as if listening. Its nostrils flared. It began moving slowly back toward the closet. Liam's heartbeat thundered so loudly he feared it could hear it. When the doorknob began to twitch, he braced himself for the worst, until a loud metallic crash sounded somewhere upstairs. The creature bolted toward the noise, giving Liam a chance to slip out and continue searching for an escape. Liam climbed the nearby stairwell, hoping the upper floors would offer a clearer path. But the moment he reached the second floor, he realized the air felt different, heavier, thicker, almost suffocating. The hallways here were lined with patient beds, each one occupied by a mannequin-like figure draped in hospital gowns. Their faces were blank, featureless, yet their heads turned slowly toward him as he walked by. A wave of nausea twisted his stomach. He kept moving, refusing to meet their gaze or lack of one. Halfway down the hall, he heard a faint beeping sound, steady and mechanical, coming from room 214. Against his better judgment, he pushed the door open. Inside was an old cardiac monitor still functioning, its green line flickering across the dusty screen. Next to it was a metal crib, rocking gently as if something inside were moving. Liam approached slowly, dread coiling around his spine. When he finally looked inside, he stumbled back in horror. The crib held a small, malformed creature, its skin translucent, showing veins pulsing beneath. Its eyes snapped open, pure black and filled with hunger. It reached toward him with tiny skeletal hands, letting out a rasping cry that echoed through the entire floor. Terrified, Liam sprinted away from the rocking crib, the creature's shriek still stabbing at his ears. He reached the end of the hallway, where a large metal door stood partially open. The sign above it read, "Intensive Treatment Ward." With no other route available, he slipped inside. The room was vast, filled with towering metal cages suspended from the ceiling by chains. Some cages were empty, swaying gently, while others held shapes too twisted to identify. A chill crawled across his skin as he realized these weren't patients. They were failed experiments. A soft humming sound drew his attention to the center of the room, where a massive containment tank bubbled with dark fluid. Floating inside was a humanoid figure, larger than the others, connected to dozens of wires and tubes. As Liam approached, the figure's eyes snapped open. The glass vibrated violently, cracks spreading outward like a spiderweb. An alarm blared, red lights flashing. Liam backed away as the tank exploded, sending shards flying. Through the haze of steam and shattered glass, the giant experiment slowly stepped out, its body towering, its face expressionless, its gaze fixed entirely on him. Liam stumbled backward as the towering experiment advanced, each step shaking the floor like a small quake. Its skin was a patchwork of surgical scars, stitched together with thick black thread. Its eyes were hollow, lifeless, yet burning with a cold intelligence. Liam ran behind a row of fallen cages, searching desperately for anything he could use as a weapon. The creature's footsteps thundered closer, tilted its head, listening, tracking him by sound alone. Liam spotted a broken metal pipe lying near a collapsed gurney. He grabbed it, gripping it tightly even though he knew it was almost useless against something this massive. Suddenly, the creature lunged, swinging one enormous arm and sending cages crashing in every direction. Liam narrowly rolled away, the wind from the impact knocking him off balance. He scrambled to his feet and sprinted toward an emergency exit door on the far wall. But when he shoved it, it didn't budge. Rust sealed it shut. The alarm still blared, red lights flashing across the massive room. The creature roared, a deep, vibrating sound that shook dust from the ceiling, and Liam realized he had only seconds before it reached him. With the creature only steps behind him, Liam climbed a nearby ladder leading to an overhead maintenance platform. The metal shook violently under his weight, but he pushed upward, clutching the broken pipe in one hand. The creature reached the base of the ladder and slammed its fist into the metal, bending the lower rungs like soft clay. Liam barely reached the top before the entire ladder tore free and crashed to the ground. Breathing heavily, he crawled across the narrow platform that overlooked the entire treatment ward. Below him, the creature stalked the shadows, its head drifting back and forth like a predator tracking blood. Liam spotted a control panel at the far end of the platform, old, rusted, but still connected to a system of overhead cages and support cables. A plan formed in his mind, dangerous but his only chance. He sprinted toward the panel, typing frantically through dust-covered switches. Sparks flew. The system groaned. Down below, the creature finally looked up, noticing him. It leaped, an impossible height, grabbing onto the side of the platform. Liam slammed the final switch. Above the creature, the support chains snapped loose. A massive cage dropped like a guillotine straight toward its skull. The crashing metal echoed through the ward as the cage slammed onto the creature, pinning it to the floor. Dust billowed into the air, and for a moment, silence filled the entire building. Liam collapsed to his knees in relief, but it wasn't over. The cage began to shake violently, the metal bending outward as the creature pushed against it with monstrous strength. Liam backed away, realizing the trap would only hold it for seconds. He scanned the platform and noticed a large emergency generator humming nearby. Thick wires connected it to the same overhead system he had manipulated moments earlier. If he overloaded it, he might be able to bring the entire ceiling down. The idea was insane, but so was staying alive in this place. He tore the wires from their brackets and smashed the generator casing with the metal pipe. Sparks erupted in a brilliant flash. The lights flickered, then blazed white-hot. A loud cracking sounded overhead. Below, the creature finally freed an arm from the cage, roaring in triumph. Liam sprinted, dove behind a concrete barrier, and braced himself. The entire platform gave way. Then the ceiling itself collapsed, burying the creature beneath tons of concrete, steel, and shattered equipment. When the dust finally settled, Liam pulled himself to his feet, coughing through the haze. The entire treatment ward was in ruins. Nothing moved beneath the rubble. No roar, no scraping crawl, nothing. For the first time since entering the hospital, the air felt still, normal. He limped toward a side corridor that had been exposed by the collapse. At the end of it, sunlight filtered through a cracked door. His pulse quickened. He pushed the door open and stepped outside into the cold night air. Behind him, the abandoned hospital loomed like a dying giant, its broken windows glowing faintly with the last sparks of the generator. Liam took one deep breath, then another. He was alive. But as he turned to leave, a faint beep echoed from deep inside the hospital, the same mechanical pulse he had heard earlier, the same rhythm from room 214. Liam froze, and from somewhere within the shadows of the ruined building, a second beep answered it. Then another, and another. The experiments were not dead. They were waking up. As Liam stepped out of the hospital, he thought the nightmare was finally over. But the shadows that haunted the halls had followed him outside. His phone buzzed with a new message. A photo of him sleeping in his own room, taken just minutes ago. Someone was watching him. And what happened in the hospital was only the beginning.